Granddaddy would go open up the door and roll out the tubs, and remember that crank?
Yes, the wringer.
The wringer.
The wringer where you wrung the water out. But the thing that I remember is the most frightening thing for me, and it was the cellar.
Underneath
The root
Granddaddy's
cellar.
house. The root cellar.
Yeah, because they were into gardening, and everybody was back then. They grew their own produce, and we didn't go to the grocery store. You know, it all came out of the garden. And you would store the potatoes and the onions and the rutabagas and whatever else roots, and they would put them in cold storage underneath the house, and you had to crawl into there to pull them out, and it was just a sand bed, and you always wanted to do it at the first of the season so that you didn't have to go very far underneath the house.
Yeah.
Because that's where the spiders and the snakes were way under there.
Yeah, and that's right. When you finally make that last trip up in the winter and say, Grandmother, there are no more potatoes. From that point on until summer, we were going to have rice. That's it. That was the end of all the potato dishes.
But we did have, I remember having a rake down there so you could reach back in with a rake and rake things forward, not have to crawl.
Do you remember, I remember Grandma Baker was a great cook. She baked pies and cakes and rolls and all that. Do you ever remember being around her kitchen when she'd decide to make something and she'd say, I need 4 eggs? That didn't mean somebody was going to the grocery store as it does today. It didn't mean you were going to the neighbor to borrow eggs. It meant somebody was going to go to the hen house and pick up some eggs.
4 eggs.
4 eggs, that's right.
And do you remember when they got their first toaster?
No, I don't think I did.
I remember Harry and I sat at their table, and we were so amazed. We sat there and listened to Running Bear Loves Little White Dove to go back in time. I remember. And we'd put bread in the toaster and push it down, and it would pop up. And Grandma Baker told us we had to eat everything that we touched. We put butter on everything. And before it was over, she had to call Granddaddy Baker, have you broken up the loaf of bread? We ate so much because it was just fascinating. It was the first toaster I've ever seen. Modern conveniences.
Is it just thrilled you to see it pop up? It didn't take much to keep us happy. Yeah, we could just have a fun all I do with a toaster.
As long as the bread was supplied, we'd eat.
Yeah.
And what about the boiled peanuts? Your favorite?
Oh, I love boiled peanuts. But
we used to go to Uncle Haywood's, didn't we?
No, we get peanuts from Jack.
Oh, did
Jack. Yeah, because he was the peanut farmer. We'd go up there, and during the peanuts would start getting ready about maturing into the ground about June, July, August, and then they'd start harvesting them, put them on the stacks about the end of August, 1st of September. So all summer, we'd go up, if we wanted boiled peanuts or watermelon, we'd go up to the farm and stomp around on the plants, pull up the plants, and then pick off the peanuts. And where we get in trouble was we were so anxious to have the peanuts, we'd start eating them green. Remember that? Eating them before we boiled them, and we'd get so sick.
They were so good.
So good. And we go back there. Now, I remember the time, I don't know that you were a part of the story, but do you remember where the church was, the Methodist church? And remember it had grass on 2 sides. Granddaddy Baker was always mindful of keeping things up at the church. So one day, he took me over with his lawnmower. Remember what his lawnmower looked like?
The little push.
Yeah, there was no starter. It never was out of gas. It never had a dead battery.
Because it always had you pushing.
That's right. You just pushed it.
It was human powered.
That's right. So I went over he took me over to the church with his lawnmower. And he said, Mickey, cut the grass, cut it good, and then rake up anything that needs raking up, and I'll come back and pick you up in a couple hours. And he said, and he had a key to the church. So he went and unlocked the church and said, if you get thirsty, and it was hot, He said, you can go into the church and get some water. He said, and I think there's maybe even some crackers and bread stuff left over from the reunion we had here Sunday. He said, just help yourself to anything that's in there. No, and there's not much in there. So I started cutting grass, and after a while I got thirsty, and I went into the church. Plus, I think I just liked the idea of I can go into the church all by myself. I've got a key to the church. So I went in there, and I went to the little kitchen area, and I was opening up the cabinets to find the glass, and lo and behold, the first cabinet I opened up, there sat a can of Eagle brand milk. Do you remember how good Eagle brand milk was?
Wonderful.
When she would make a cake or something and leave a little bit left over in
And
the
ice
can?
cream.
Oh, yeah. And that Eagle brand milk was that was the best part of it, getting to lick that can. And I sat there and I looked at it. He said I could have anything I wanted. So I took that can of Eagle brand milk, and it was hot. It was a hot day. And I found the little church key. Remember one of the church key?
Yeah.
One thing you punch a hole in the can with. And I punched a hole in that can, and I turned up that can, and I took a big swig of Eagle brand milk. Man, the first taste of that was so good. I mean, all the thing I'd ever had before was a little bit you get on your finger, and now I'm getting a whole swig of Eagle brand milk. That was like heaven.
And you had the whole can to go.
Yes, and I was so happy. I just couldn't be any better than this. So I went back out, and I finished cutting the grass. And about that time, Granddaddy drove up and said I'd done a good job, and he was going to take me. We were going to go work for a little while in the garden. So I ran back over where I'd hid my little can of Eagle brand milk. It was about 2/3 still full, and I picked it up. I put it in the back of the car with the lawnmower so he wouldn't see it. And we went to his house. Got out, he unloaded the lawnmower, and I managed to hide the little can from him. And I said, I'll go hoe up in the corn, because it needed weeds. I took my can of Eagle brand milk, and I went up the corn so he couldn't see me. And I sat down up there, and I finished that can of Eagle brand milk. And that sun was beating down on me, and it started to churn in my stomach.
And it was so sweet.
Oh, so sweet. That's the first time I ever knew a vomit to be like a projectile. I could go halfway down that corn row. I got so sick, I had to lay down on the ground.
I can't even imagine. That had to have been awful.
You remember who our policeman was in Ayrton?
Not Flat Top.
No, Flat Top was the town color person. He was, he was not, he was Caucasian. I didn't mean that, or anything else. But he was our colorful character of the village. Flat Top was the one who would get drunk most weekends, and he would call Fonzie Baker to come lock him up or to put him in jail. And Fonzie Baker. Now, do you remember how he became the police officer?
He had the only bullet.
No, that might, little Jacob might find that little story interesting. But in Ayrton, you remember all the stores were on one side of the street. They were all connected to each other. One time